Okay, I'm gonna continue talking. Um, 7 months after the last concert that I had went to, which was August 8th, of 2000, that I spoke a bit before on the last time. 7 months later, Def Leppard was at the Houston Rodeo. And of course, I'm going to go, and I have my tickets and everything. But right before the concert, I don't remember what chat but I had a chat. I was talking to this girl named Jace, or JC or Jace, something like that. I have a photo I'll add to this because she's in it with Michael Knight, and I'm off to the side, I think, in it. Anyways, I was talking to her, and we were joking. I don't remember how I got in contact. I guess it must have been a Def Leppard group or something. I don't know how, but we started talking, and she was going to go to the rodeo, and so I was really excited, and so I was going to meet her there, and we were going to, hook up, and do the concert together. And so anyways, let's see. From what I remember, I was by myself this time, and I got my car and I went to the parking ride and caught a bus downtown. And I got there. I met her, but I can't remember exactly how we met up, but we organized it somehow, and we got together, and she had brought a friend. And so that was my first meeting with her after talking to her online for a while. And this time we were standing way up in the balcony, way up at the top. And we were standing. We didn't have seats, I don't know, or we just decided not to sit in our seats and stand up. I can't remember. At any rate, the place was packed. And I was standing there, and we were talking, and all of a sudden, there was this man that was walking towards me. And he had I caught it right away. He had a Def Leppard, like a Def Leppard tag or pass or something like that. I assumed it was a pass, like he had it around his neck. And as soon as I saw that, I'm not shy, except for camera shy, but I'm not shy. So I walk right up to him, and I said, "Hey, you know Def Leppard?" And he says, "Well, yeah." I said, "Cool." He said, if you show me where to go to the restroom and where to buy a beer, I'll get you back there to see him. And I thought, damn straight, cool. So I just turned around and pointed, and there it was, the toilet and where to buy a beer, And he went off and did his thing and came back, and sure enough, him and me and Jason and her girlfriend, we followed him, and we walked back to where the band was at. And we're walking back there, and we're standing around. It's where they had like their food. Like it was just a small room back there where they hung out, I guess, before the concert. And I seen Sav, and I seen Phil, and at the time Phil was married to this girl named Anita. And I had photos with them. And all of a sudden, and what's weird? I never even thought of the incident that happened earlier. Like I said, it was like as if amnesia had happened. And I know it happened, but it was like I never brought it up. I forgot about it. I didn't bring it up. And I had opportunities to talk about it more than once to the actual people, But for some strange reason, I never thought about it, didn't bring it up to Phil, didn't mention it. We went on as if. I wish I had them now. I don't have them. The photos of us. and stuff that went on, because like I said, my photo album was, my scrapbook was taken apart, and all my photos and stuff were taken away. But anyways, all of a sudden, as I'm standing there, I hear this like, not gargling, but kind of like a gargling sound, like da-da-da-da, singing, like preparing to sing, which was Joe. And I heard him, and he walked in. And I'm standing there, and he walks in, and now we've introduced ourselves to each other before. And I can remember thinking, as this was going on, as the actual incident happened, I can remember thinking, you don't remember me? Oh, golly. I thought it was strange, because I'm like, how could you forget me, Anyways, Joe reached out his right hand, and we were shaking hands is what was happening. We were introducing ourselves again to each other. He stuck his hand out, and he said, as he said, I'm Joe, and I said, I'm Diana, and we shook hands. The bizarrest thing happened at that exact moment. From him to me, he intuitively said, as we said our names, he passed a word to me, which was AIDS. Now, at the time, I clearly heard it. I clearly heard the word AIDS as we shook hands. And I can remember thinking, well, I just went on like normal. I didn't stop. I didn't ask him, why'd you, did you hear that? What'd you just do to me? Like, it was weird. It was just an incident that when our hands touched each other, the words AIDS came out, and it surprised me, but we continued like a little bit of conversation, I guess. After that, I don't know. I can't remember much after that. But that clearly stands out in my mind. And all these years, I've wondered, what did he mean by that? Now, first, of course, I thought HIV, AIDS. And then later on, many years in the UK when I lived there, a gentleman that I lived with before I came back to the U.S., he said, well, maybe he meant like aid and help, as assist or something like that. So I don't know. But when he shook my hand and said the word AIDS, I thought he was talking about HIV. So I'm not sure. Anyways, after that little, after that little incident at backstage, I had to go out and do the concert. So me and Jason and her girlfriend, we walked back out and stood there at the concert. And she had told me that she happens to be staying at the same hotel that Def Leppard was staying at. And I thought, well, cool. She says, we can go there after the concert. And I thought, well, damn, awesome. I'm up for that. And so the concert went on, and after the concert, I rode with her, and we went to the hotel. I can't remember what hotel it was. I keep thinking Doubletree, but I don't know. I can't remember what the name of the hotel was in Houston. But we went there, and some strange things happened there too. But when we got there, Joe and Phil were there, and Joe was busy. He was busy. He was sitting down, and I didn't want to walk up to him and bother him, But they had this bar area and a table, and we sat and we ordered we got a drink and we sat and was just chit chatting and talking. When all of a sudden, Phil came up to me. And I was sitting on this bench, and Phil came up and slid in beside me. Like his leg touched mine, He slid in beside me, and we just small chit-chat. Hey, how you doing? I can't remember our exact words, word for word, what he said. But we just kind of chit-chatted. And I got up. I can't remember what happened, but Joe was standing up or something, and I walked over to him. You know, it looked like he was available, and I got a photo with him. He was standing there, and I can remember I said, "Can I put my hand there?" And I was talking about on his heart, and he said, "Sure." So, you know, I wish I had that photo. I lost that photo, and I love that photo. And that photo is very important, too, for the next video thing that I do and talk about. But anyways, we had our photo done, and I don't know. Me and Joe never really spoke a lot together. You know, I spoke more to Phil than I did to Joe. But anyways, he was polite enough, you know, we had the photo done, and then I don't know, I can't remember what happened, but I do know that he was fixing to leave, and I caught it, and what he did was, he went down these 3 steps, and he was standing there smoking a cigarette, and I'm gonna light mine. He was smoking a cigarette, and I was looking at him. And I thought, well, I'll take this opportunity before he goes, you know. I didn't know what I was going to say to him, but I was damn sure going to try to approach him. And so I started my way towards him, when all of a sudden, you know, the 3 steps he had to go down to get to where he was at, which was right just down below, I started walking, just walking normal, when all of a sudden it was like a force field stopped me. An invisible force field. I stood right in my place. I could not move. And I looked down at my feet, and then I looked back up at him. Now, where he was standing straight ahead, and without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, he could see me out of his peripheral vision. I know that for a fact. And I looked at my feet, I looked at him, and the thoughts going through I even tried to move. I tried to put my foot down on the step. I couldn't move. I was frozen in time. I was just frozen there. And I thought, I'm thinking, you know, in my mind, this is weird. This is bizarre. I was thinking, at the time this was going on, I was thinking, God, if I try to force myself, I'm going to fall flat on my face in front of Joe. And so all I did was, like, I looked at my feet, I looked at Joe, I kept looking at my feet, looked at Joe, and he finished his cigarette, and he started walking. And now his back's towards me, walking to this door, to go, I guess, to his room or wherever. And as he got to the door, he turned around and looked at me, and I was looking at him. Our eyes, you know, locked on each other, and we just looked at each other. And for a minute, and then all of a sudden he went in. And after he went in, I could move. I could walk again. So I thought that was really bizarre how that happened. That's the last time I've seen Joe. Spoke to him, spoke to any of them. That's the last concert I ever went to. That was March 2nd of 2001. So it's been 20 years since that. And, yeah, that was my last encounter with seeing them physically. Because when I talk about what happens next after this is really where it gets bizarre. As if, you know, it's not bizarre enough already. But yeah, that happened. That was my last time I saw Joe and Phil and Def Leppard.